Welcome to this week's edition of the Breath of Fresh Air Webcast. We have a lot to cover since we didn't get to do a show on Tuesday. So I'll do the quick introduction real quick. I am Charles Taylor, and I do have Patrick Brackett with me. Say what's up, Patrick.
I'm scared. Charles went 75, or Charles went 100%, man. I'm pissed off, so it makes my hair go all sticking up. Make me mad.
We'll get into why he's mad that I went 100% with these divisional playoff picks right here starting now. So let's start with the first game, Patrick. Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots. So the Patriots won that game 27-20. I don't think we're really surprised by that result, but really it just started. Look, first of all, New England's the better team. They're the better team against Kansas City, but Kansas City did not help the matter by one, playing conservative, and two, the clock management. The clock management is terrible, and this is something that has plagued Andy Reid pretty much his whole career. Man, conservative, you got to throw the ball deeper than 10 yards. You're not going to beat New England going in there being conservative. You got to attack them because they're going to attack you. And New England just did their thing. They got the weapons back. They got Julian Edelman back. Rob Gronkowski was looking like Rob Gronkowski, and they were able to kind of go up and down the field. I figured the Chiefs would come close, but this score doesn't surprise me at all. What about you?
Actually, the score surprised me a little bit, man. Like you said, Kansas City was playing way too conservative, but you really, Andy Reid has been plagued with this throughout his career. One, but two, I really can't blame Andy Reid 100%, man. He doesn't have a quarterback that can go down the field. Alex Smith has been known in his career to not go down the field. He can't. As he gets longer, his passing gets a lot more inaccurate. So 10, 15 yards across the field, man, that's what Alex Smith comes with. So Patriots knew what they were going to deal with, and they dealt with it appropriately. I'm a bit surprised by the score because I actually thought that the Patriots would win by more. I just didn't think Kansas City was able to put up that many points, but they did. I was actually kind of surprised, and I expected the Patriots to put up more points than what they did. So the scores kind of surprised me a little bit, but at the same time, like I said, hashtag you can't beat the cheat, dog. It ain't happening. But it's Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady's like 90% when it comes to playoff wins, so it's 90%. It doesn't surprise me none that the Patriots won.
Well, look,
that sweet team is not Long Island fans and folks. I'm not getting drunk tonight, but I could. I should. I give me a good Long Island. I might get drunk. I get drunk and the Patriots gonna beat Denver too.
Hey, look, I was actually gonna say, Patrick, what's in that cup?
I know you was. I was just gonna beat you to the punch.
All right, good job, man. And why did you fix your hair?
Because I'm not surprised. Because I'm not surprised with the pick that it was the Patriots. The next pick. So this one surprised me, but I gotta fix my hair again because it's making my head itch. All right.
So the pick Patrick is talking about, since we're pretty well, to close off the Chiefs and Patriots, we're pretty well in agreement. New England's the better team. No surprises there. Kansas City played conservative, and if you play that way against New England, you're not going to win anyway. So we're pretty much in agreement there. This next game, though, is why Patrick was messing with his hair. The Packers and Cardinals, instant classic that happened from the Aaron Rodgers passes on that last drive, the Hail Mary for the second time this year, to the beast play Larry Fitzgerald made in overtime to set up the winning touchdown. So the final score was 26-20 Arizona. And look, man, I figured this, Patrick. I figured Arizona was going, or excuse me, not Arizona, Green Bay was going to play better. They were not going to lose 38-8 like they did a couple of weeks beforehand. Green Bay was going to play a lot better than they did, and they played well enough to win that game. Their defense played very well, held that Arizona offense to 20 points in regulation. And they were able to get some things going with the short passing game and downfield throws eventually with Aaron Rodgers in the offense. Green Bay, they could have won that game. It's not like they weren't close. They definitely could have won the game, but give Arizona some credit for making the plays when they had to have them and pulling the game out.
Yeah, definitely. From what I saw, man, Aaron Rodgers again, dude, he's a beast, dude. The two plays, the 4th and 20, man, for 61 yards. That's an amazing throw on his back foot, nonetheless. And I mean, even in Pop Warner football, man, you're told you plant your feet and you make a solid, accurate throw. And this dude can throw off his butt cheeks. I don't see how he does it, man. But he's got some arm strength, man. I give Aaron Rodgers a lot of credit, man. He's a beast. And it's hard to beat a Green Bay team in the playoffs. And like I say, I even in this game again, I can tell you right now, even though Green Bay lost, I'd go with Green Bay again, man, because they're just a solid team. But again, Arizona, man, you gotta give them a lot of credit. You gotta give Carson Palmer a lot of credit for hanging his head. He hung his head in there, man. He took a lot of hits throughout the game, and then that last scramble that he made what, 2 missed tackles, and he threw that ball sidearmed to Fitzgerald, and he made a big ass play, man. What can you say? It was a good game, instant classic, like you said. It was a fantastic game. I was pacing around my living room. I'm surprised I don't have needing to put new flooring down because I paced so much. Because that game had me on I was everywhere in my living room, dude. I had that game on 4 TVs, dude. I was pacing back and forth my son's room, my room, living room. It was a good game.
Well, we definitely understand why you pick Green Bay. Again, you have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. You're never out of the game. You always have a shot to win the game, and when he can make throws like that, I mean, the first throw, and don't get me wrong, the touchdown, very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But that first throw he made, where he rolled out and he just launched it and hit the dude on the run. He's still running at 60 yards
caught him in stride and caught him to a point where he still went up the field another 10 yards. I mean, he literally just I was like, what the hell, man? That his arm strength is amazing, dude. And he's so smart with the football, man. It's crazy. But yeah, again, I would go with Green Bay again because they're a solid team, and it's hard to go against Aaron Rodgers. But Carson Palmer made a very, very nice statement.
It's his first playoff win.
Cardinals are here to play, and like you said, it's his first playoff win. He's 1-2 now. He's here to play, and good for Arizona and good for that Cardinals team because they need it.
Real quick before we move on to the games from Sunday, you're gonna like this. Seeing how Green Bay is going home, the head coach Mike McCarthy, he had a press conference or held that into the season press conference, and he said something you and I have been saying all along about Eddie Lacy. He said he can't play at the weight he was at.
I'm telling you, man, Eddie Lacy and Bartolo Colon, they hit up the concession stands before every game, man. Them fat asses gotta get some food. He can't keep playing at that level, man. I mean, he had so many chances for breakout runs against Arizona that it was pathetic, but they caught up with him because he was just so slow.
Because he's just so big. Look, man,
I mean, don't get me wrong, he steamrolled them linebackers. He was steamrolling them linebackers, but man, they were holding on and they were able to get. He's just too slow. He's going to have to drop 30, 35 pounds, man.
He does not, honestly, man, he doesn't run with enough power. I mean, as big as he is, he runs soft to me, man. Now, look, don't get me wrong, man. I'm not trying to tackle the dude, but I'm just saying. But he's runs soft.
Analyzing the games, not playing them.
There you go.
I was playing cold weather, snowing and shit. I want to make a snowman. I don't want to go out there and play football.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, 85 degrees, too cold. I know, Patrick. I got it. But but no, man. We're on agreement. Well, I know you picked Green Bay to win the game. I had Arizona. I know. I guess we pretty much agree. Hey, Aaron Rodgers went down swinging. Arizona just made more plays at the end, and that's why they're moving on. And we in agreement there?
I agree. It was a good game though. It's a class, like you said.
Yes, sir. Well, let's talk about Seattle and Carolina. So this game, Carolina jumped out to a 31-0 lead and was rolling Seattle. Not really surprised Seattle came back and made it as close as it was. The final score was 31-24. But I mean, because when you get that lead, naturally you want to try to be more conservative. You don't want to make a big mistake. You kind of want to coast. But Carolina has had an issue with that throughout the year. I mean, they get big
They've
leads
had an
and
issue with that throughout the entire time Cam Newton's been there. They'll get a lead and they coast. That's been a huge problem for Carolina.
yeah, and this just what happened in this game against Seattle. But I mean, in that first half, man, Carolina was on fire. I mean, they were getting after Russell Wilson, forcing turnovers. They were running the ball on Seattle. They beat the hell out of Seattle. I mean, honestly, I know Seattle made a run. That game was not as close as the final score indicated. Carolina was dominant in that first half. I mean, I know they took their foot off the gas. That has to be fixed. I mean, if you get a big lead, you got to keep it going. You have to put these teams down. But
you have to at least get them field goals. At that point, you got to get field goals.
Right. But I mean, that first half, man, some of the best football I've seen played by any team this year. I mean, Carolina was on fire, man. They sent the clear message. I mean, they were more physical than Seattle, and they pushed Seattle around. It's not often you see Seattle get pushed around like they were getting pushed around in the first half of that game. But Carolina was doing it. They look good. If they could just stop blowing leads, man.
And you know what pissed me off about anything?
What?
You know, I predicted that game to be 38-7.
Yep. Yeah, you had like 38-7, 38-10, something like that. I think I had 27-14. I figured Carolina would win solidly, man. But boy, I was actually about to text you and say, Patrick, good call on this blowout. But I stopped. I didn't.
It should have been a blowout. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest about the game. If Carolina played that well in the first half, they should have came out with the same intensity in the second half. And if they should have came out with the same intensity, I expect them to at least score some freaking points. You know what I'm saying? And hold Seattle to a touchdown. That's because it's kind of how I felt the game was going to go. I thought it was going to be really one-sided for the first half, and then the second half, I've seen Carolina blow leads time and time again, and the second half has just been a nuisance for them. But this was not a nuisance for Carolina this time. They just stopped playing, and that irritated me. And that irritated me to no end because Cam Newton, there's wide open people constantly down the field, and he was trying to just take time off the clock. You know, he would scramble. He didn't need to scramble. He wasn't needing to run. These guys were open, and they were consistently open. And why he was not trying to make the play was really starting to irritate me because now I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, this should have been a complete and just utter blowout. And Carolina played with themselves. I mean, it was like a dog licking his balls on the porch. They're like, look, I chased the mailman around for 14 hours. I'm going to go over here and for the second half, I'm going to lick my balls. Now, don't get me wrong. Good for the dog to lick his balls. I mean, come on. He gets his balls licked, right? But to lick your balls like this, come on.
What? Hold on. How do you make that comparison?
That's what they did. They got on the sidelines. They started licking them balls. It was ridiculous. I mean, it's like, at what point are you going to stop licking your balls and go chase the mailman again? He's starting to deliver mail again. Go get a mailman. No, he's over there licking his balls, and they just didn't play. And it irritated me.
Hey, you can
One thing about this, fans, you're going to realize that my analogies are on point.
You could also say like what Cam Newton said, and said that everybody was playing with their butts tight. Take that for what it's worth, but that's what he said. And you know what? He's right. They did. In the second half, they played scared. I don't know. Like they got this lead and they played very, very cautious, very, very.
They were afraid to lose it, and they lost it. That was my problem, and that's what I kept saying. It's like, why is Carolina doing it? They're afraid to lose this lead, and Russell Wilson is taking it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because he ain't going nowhere. He's going to
exactly. And even at the end of the game, Seattle had a chance to freaking tie the game.
Yeah, onside kick.
That onside kick, and I'm like, you have just given them, if they get this, you've given them 1 minute and 10 seconds to go down the field, and if they get this ball, they only have to go 40 yards. I was like, what the hell are they doing? Put points on the board when you can. At least match their score. At least match their score. If Russell Wilson's going to put up 7, you damn well better put up 7 on the next drive. I mean, I was like, what the hell? Anyway, I was real upset with it, and I wasn't really happy with the game, the way it was played, though. But that first half, Carolina just they sent a clear message that they were a better team. But that second half, they sent a clear message too, and they were afraid to lose. So you kind of take that game with a tale of two halves, really, because that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Seattle credit.
They didn't quit.
Yeah, they didn't quit. They continued to play. I mean, they said, "Look, we are the defending or the 2-time defending NFC champs, and so we're not gonna go out like this, man. We're gonna come back out in the second half, and we're gonna make a game out of this and see what happens." So good on them for fighting back, but clearly it was just too big of a hole. Too big of a hole. Carolina played that great in this first half, just put them in too big of a hole, and Seattle just couldn't get themselves out of it. So, yep, we both had Carolina winning that game. Not surprised. I'm sure you're surprised about the score because you had a blowout, and it was on its way. But 31-24 was that final win. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, we can move on. I was irritated with the way Carolina played in that second half, though.
Make your hair all crazy again since you was frustrated. Yes.
I look like a crazy bit. If I put makeup on, I look like a crazy clown.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, let's move on to the last game of the divisional playoffs, and this was the Pittsburgh Steelers and Denver Broncos. Denver won 23-16. I don't think we're surprised at the result. Both of us had Denver winning the game, but Pittsburgh played pretty well. Probably was in a good position to win the game if it wasn't for that fumble when they were driving. That turnover turned the game around. Peyton Manning made enough throws, I guess. I mean, he made enough throws. Denver ran the ball well in the fourth quarter, and they were able to win that game 23-16. I keep on going back to this game, Patrick, and I keep saying to myself, man, if Pittsburgh had Antonio Brown. And I know teams are beaten up. Some teams don't have their best players. I get it. But, man, if they had Antonio Brown, man, I think Pittsburgh wins going away. I mean, I do. I think Pittsburgh wins by 10 points if they have Antonio Brown.
Well, Denver, for some reason, has not been a good team this second half of the season. Even in the last quarter of the season, they really weren't that good of a team.
The receivers, Patrick, they've been dropping a lot of passes, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter who's in there. Could be Peyton Manning, could be Brock Osweiler. Look, the receivers are dropping. They had 6 drops Sunday.
Yeah, so, I think I counted more than that. But regardless, they had too many drop passes, and Peyton Manning's putting that ball right in their numbers. It can't be done like that. I mean, if it hits your hands, I mean that's the rule of thumb. It hits your hands, that's your fault. You should have called it. Period. So it doesn't matter if you can cover the the width of a garage door, or you can cover the width of a doggy door. If it hit you in your hands, that's your fault. So it's plain and simple. But they were getting in the hands, and I think Peyton Manning's fault. That's theirs, and the reason why they about blew that lead. So or they about blew that game. Sorry. It was really it was really a bad played game. My personal opinion. I didn't like any of the play calling for either team. I give the excuse to Pittsburgh because they didn't have Antonio Brown, but still.
And I personally, man, real quick, man, I think Pittsburgh. I guess they did what they could, considering.
Yeah,
I mean,
which to me made the gameplay bad. But that's what I'm saying. If Antonio Brown was in the game, I think the play calling would have been totally different. And like you said you'd have Pittsburgh winning by 10. I would have probably had them winning by 10, especially the way, hell, if I'd have known how Denver was going to play that game, I'd have probably had them winning by 14 or 21.
yeah, I mean, Denver hadn't been looking that impressive, like you said, man. The last quarter of the season, they hadn't been looking that good. It didn't matter who was playing quarterback. The defense was doing enough, I guess, I mean, to get some pressure on quarterback and make things difficult. But offensively, they've been hit or miss.
Yeah.
Because of the drop passes, inconsistencies in the running game with Ronnie Hillman and CJ Anderson. I mean, in the fourth quarter, they finally got going. They were struggling to run the football until that turnover, really. And that turnover, I guess they got urgency about them. Peyton Manning made a big throw on a 3rd and 12. And that's what I say. I mean, he made enough plays and they got enough running game going to pull that game out. And I think that's basically what it turned into. That turnover just turned the momentum around toward Denver, and they just rode it to the victory.
Yep, I agree. I'm glad I had them picked because that's what I was rooting for. But again, you just didn't know what you were going to get out of Pittsburgh. Like we said, we both knew that Ben Roethlisberger was going to play. He's just not going to not play, not a playoff game. But obviously Antonio Brown didn't get cleared from the concussion, so you just didn't know what to expect from Pittsburgh. Honestly, I think we kind of just played the safer bet with that and just went with it. Yeah. So, but Antonio Brown being in there, that would have probably made a bigger difference. I would have had Pittsburgh winning if I knew that if he was going to be in there.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Well, with that said, and seeing how Denver is one of the teams in the championship games, let's go today to the AFC Championship game first, Patrick. So it's going to be the Broncos and Patriots. They're playing in Denver. It's the first game out of the championship games to be played on Sunday. Who do you have in this one? Now, I'll tell you my pick after you pick yours. I mean, me personally, I've been kind of going back and forth, but
I'm not going back and forth right now. I'll tell you, I got the Patriots. I have never seen Peyton Manning beat Tom Brady. And I don't think it's going to happen now.
I've seen it. You've seen it.
I probably have, but it doesn't happen often.
Well,
not often enough to pick Denver in this game. So number 12. See the Patriots.
What's your hashtag for that one?
Oh, is this a hashtag? I didn't know.
No, it don't have to be, man. I just figured you might throw one in there. I don't know.
I wouldn't even think about it. If I would have thought about it, give me a minute. I'll think one.
All right, cool. Well, me going back and forth with it, man. It was because the game was in Denver, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I got New England, and I don't like New England, but who's gonna beat them? I mean,
nobody.
Who's gonna beat them? Well, at least in the AFC.
Here you go. Hashtag Tom Brady emails. Hashtag Tom Brady mails Peyton Manning a set of Uggs. Get ready for the winner. Watch me in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I do have the Patriots winning. I think the score. Oh, do you have a score?
Even though Tom Brady always beats Peyton Manning, this was going to be a little closer. I don't know. 28-17.
28-17. All right, I got you. Yeah. I was gonna say 24-17 because I look New England. they're gonna do what they do, man. I mean, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, all these guys are back. The Denver defense, their secondary, they're they can they can slow down New England because they have corners who can get some good jams on the receivers for New England. They have a very physical secondary, and they got guys with like Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware who can get some pressure on Tom Brady. So I think the defense will make it tough. They're similar to Kansas City's defense, really. I mean, they got both teams have two good pass rushers on the outside. They can push up the middle that can kind of get Brady off his spot in the pocket. And they have a good secondary who might be able to jam up those receivers pretty well. The thing with New England is that they're able to adjust to things so quickly. And that's the biggest thing.
And their offense is just so potent, man. All those weapons, like you made, Gronk. I mean, the dude is he's like 6'7", 256 pounds or whatever he is, and he catches anything in his general vicinity. You know what I mean? Edelman. I mean, what can you say about this guy? I didn't even know his name at the beginning of the season, and this dude is like, he's on fire. But then again, I mean, it all boils down to Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady, he makes anybody look good. He'd make a retarded monkey look good out there.
And look, one more thing. With New England, again, I go back to the underrated factor of their team, their defense. Their defense is good. They can get pressure on Peyton Manning, and they can slow down the running game of Denver. And Peyton Manning, man, the throws. I don't know. I mean, I think this is what I see. I see New England jamming up those receivers and taking away the short and intermediate routes. That means Peyton Manning's going to have to throw down the field. That is not a strength of his anymore. And when he throws down the field, those balls
they either fail or they get intercepted.
They flutter. I mean, they're like punts. they're like punts, man, like kickoffs. Like we were just waiting to fair catch them.
Yeah. Well, I got one more thing, and we'll move on to the NFC. I will, if I could give New England a bit of advice, it's this: don't send two, send three. Send three in the box and get pressure, because the thing is that you're going to have two to sack Peyton Manning and an extra one to sack his forehead.
He do got a big forehead.
You do got a big forehead. So that extra person's going to help finish the sack on that forehead of his.
Oh boy. So yeah. So we got New England in the AFC Championship, and for the NFC Championship, Arizona and Carolina. This is a matchup I've been wanting to see. A lot of people want to say Arizona was the best team in the NFC. I didn't think so. I always thought Carolina was, but I guess we'll find out since they're playing each other in Charlotte.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and give my score for this right away, Patrick. I got Carolina winning, and I think they're going to win handily. I got them winning 31-17, and I think as long as Cam Newton and the rest of the team don't play with their butts tight, hashtag butts tight, and the defense, look, there's a defense that sacked Russell Wilson 5-6 times last week. In the second half, they got good pressure on Russell Wilson, but with his escapability, he was able to make some plays on them. Carson Palmer does not have that type of ability. Yeah, I know he made the play to get loose and get the ball to Larry Fitzgerald, but he is not going to do that consistently. Carolina's front seven is going to get a lot of pressure on him, I think. And it's actually imperative they do, because if he is able to get the ball to the receivers, they can get to Carolina's secondary. But I don't see that happening consistently. I think Carolina's going to be all over Carson Palmer, Luke Davis. Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis are going to have big games. The line, Carolina's defensive line, very underrated with Kawan Short and Star Lotululi. I don't know if I said his name right, but
you never do.
pretty close. But those dudes in the middle of that line could get a good push and get Carson Palmer off his spot. I see Carolina coming out here making another statement like they did against Seattle, being at home. I got Carolina win this game. 31-17, man.
Fair enough. Well, as you know, all season, I have played it safe a lot, but then I'll go out on a limb. And
So
I'm
when
going
you're
out
playing
on
it
a limb
safe,
on this one.
so when you're playing it safe, is that a hashtag butt tight too?
Yeah, hashtag butt tight. But I'm going out on a limb on this one. I got Arizona 23-20. I'm going out on a limb because I don't think that Arizona is the better team. And I think they're going to be a better team Sunday. I think Carson Palmer will make enough plays to win the game. And what I mean by enough plays is I don't think he's going to be caught as many times in the backfield. I think they're going to do exactly what Kansas City would do. Short, intermediate passes, take what the defense gives them, and move the ball down the field. With that said, this is a game that honestly would not surprise me one bit because I really want to go with Carolina, but I want to go out on a limb too.
So, because you want to go out on the limb, that's why you're picking Arizona.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to pick an underdog. But then I want to pick an underdog. You know how I am, man. I want to pick an underdog for some reason. I think this is the game. You know how I am. Look, I picked Texas and Baylor. Look what happened. I went with the underdog because there's something about this game that has me curious. And my curiosity is really like going crazy. Like, can Carson Palmer make the plays? Will Carolina stop playing with their butts tight? All these things that keep going through my head is like, I don't think Carolina's going to jump out to a big lead on this one. At the same time, I think Arizona's going to stay in striking distance. I honestly think this is going to be a 20-20 game all the way up till who owns the ball last. I think Arizona is going to have it last, score a field goal with seconds left, put the game away. I got 23-20 Arizona.
All right.
I'm going to make it a little interesting for us, as you can see.
Well, all right. I'll give you that one. Okay, so you got Arizona winning. All right, I can respect that. I got you because I mean Arizona can win the game. I make that prediction about Carolina winning. I'm not saying Arizona can't win the game. I just think
like New England and Denver. I just don't think Denver's going to win this game. I don't even think they can. I don't even think they have the mental capacity to even think of how to win this game, win that game. With Arizona and Carolina, I mean, these are arguably the two of the best teams in the NFL right now. Arizona they can put up points. Can they put up points against this Carolina defense? We're going to find out. Carolina can put up points, but Arizona's defense has been pretty solid. I mean, they're not 13-3 for no reason. You know what I mean? So both of these teams can put up points, but both of these teams can stop teams from putting up points. I think this is going to be a lot closer game than maybe most people think. I mean, I've heard people tell me they got Carolina with blowouts. I've heard people say Arizona's got blowouts. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, no, by no means. I got Arizona winning 23-20, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people say.
Well, all right, Patrick. So you got New England and Arizona in the Super Bowl. I got New England and Carolina. Should be interesting. Oh, real quick, man, before we move on to some of the NBA topics, there have been a lot of people making excuses for why Seattle lost. And I'm here to say, stop. Hashtag stop.
Hashtag stop the madness. This is the reason why Seattle lost. They did not play football in the first half. They just didn't. They didn't show up. Carolina did. Simple as that.
I mean, I keep on hearing this, Patrick. These are the excuses I've been hearing. Oh, well, Seattle They played in negative 80-degree weather in Minnesota, and then they traveled back to Seattle for the week, and then they had to come across all the way to the East Coast to play in Charlotte. Their body clocks aren't there. It's a 10 in the morning start time over there in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, the field at Bank of America Stadium was a little choppy. I mean, these are some of the excuses.
What about the New York Giants when they went 8-8, 4 years ago, and they had to travel from East Coast to West Coast, back to East Coast, back to the West Coast to win a Super Bowl? I mean, think about how much travel. I don't want to hear it. Seattle, look, just because you have Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, and they're both little babies, stop making excuses for them. If this is what's going on, stop making excuses for them. They lost because they didn't play.
Look, man, and then another thing, couple years, the 2 years they went to the Super Bowl, they had home field advantage. That wasn't a complaint. So maybe you should have got home field advantage before or this year, but you didn't, and you lost. So stop.
So stop whining.
Yeah, stop crying. All right, I just want to get
pop
that out
the
there.
titty out of your mouth and stop crying.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, man. That was one of my rants. Okay, so well, let's talk about some of the NBA. So the Golden State Warriors. So they destroyed Chicago in Chicago, 125-94, Wednesday night. But before that, they were in Cleveland Monday night, and they destroyed the Cavaliers 132-98. They were winning by as much as 43 points in that game. This was a demolishing, I mean, a slaughter, shellacking, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
Right. Hashtag slaying the Cavs, whatever. I mean, it was awful. And Steph Curry, let alone the game, let alone what they did during the game. Steph Curry, I guess, has some comments when they were asking about the team returning to Cleveland for the first time since they won the NBA title, and his comments were, "Well, hey, the locker room," and I'm paraphrasing here, locker room. Hopefully, it smells a little bit like champagne. Or when they were popping that bubbly after the celebration. Apparently, some of the Cavs players heard about the comments. They were upset. And
well, this is what I got to tell the Cavaliers right here. Hire new janitors. You don't like the smell of the champagne, the popping bubbly up, and then get some new janitors to clean that shit out. Simple as that. Problem is that probably the fact of the matter is it's like this. As soon as Golden State won, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were over popping bottles with them. That's what happened. I guarantee it.
How about you elaborate on why you think Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were popping bottles with them?
I don't know, because if I was on the Cavaliers, I'd be over there popping bottles with them too. They won the game, man, and everybody getting drunk. I want to get drunk too. Shit.
Yeah.
I want to get drunk too. LeBron James, you should have won. We'd be popping bottles with you, but you know, they got the girls over here and the alcohol. So, deuces. Take off my Cavaliers jersey, or take off my suit because I was injured. Hobble my ass over into the Warriors locker room. Be like, whoa, where's the bottles at?
You stupid. I like how you threw that in. Well, take off the suit because I was injured.
Which they probably weren't, but anyway, I'd be able
to. Kevin, when Golden State was popping that bubbly, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving did not play.
No, so they were in the locker rooms waiting. They already called all the girls and be like, "Hey, Golden State just won. How do you know? The game ain't even started yet. Just get over here. Get your asses over here. Bring some champagne. Cavaliers just lost. Warriors won. We're popping bottles. Just get over here. We got it. Party. Come on. Cavaliers just lost. Golden State won. Get your asses over here. Let's party." And then they're over there. And if you saw over there, they were over there probably going,
"Oh, like the dude." Like that.
Yeah. Everybody falling asleep, picking their nose. Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving doing the same thing. Fall asleep, picking their nose up, be like, this game's got to end, man. These bitches been waiting on us. We got to get in here, get these girls, get these going, get these bottles popped, get drunk. We're going to have a party. We're going to party with Steph Curry. Fuck LeBron. Excuse my language. I forgot. My fault. Up LeBron.
No,
LeBron. And then LeBron. LeBron. This baby. Well, there's a lot of inexperience in playoff play. Shut your ass up. You a whiny piece of bitch anyway. God, I can't stand him.
So, for the viewers who are new to this show, Patrick is not a fan of LeBron James. It's very funny. It's really funny to listen to him. Hey, you will get to see what I hear every day, and it's so hilarious.
It's quite colorful. I'll admit that. It's quite colorful. I can't stand him. He's a baby. He flops all over the place. I ain't never seen anybody take a hit from like somebody like Tyson Chandler. And he just knocked Tyson Chandler down, but what's up, bro? But then Muggsy Bogues comes through here and trips over his foot, and LeBron ends up in the 5th row of the freaking stadium. Dude, stop it. Freaking moron. I don't like him. He gets on my nerves. And then he complains about every call. There's nobody even guarding the rim, and it's like uncontested freaking fast break down the court. And he's like, did you come call that, ref? Are you going to call that? Well, LeBron, all 5 of them are over there on the bench because they just called a timeout, dude, and you're still trying to – what? Yeah. Well, this bullshit. I'm going to technical you. Oh, I'm sorry. You're LeBron. Untechnical you. Just go sit down, please. God, everybody kisses his ass. It gets on my nerves. I ain't never seen so much dick riding in my life. God. And ESPN. Don't get me started on ESPN right now.
All right, we'll cut it off. We'll stop, Patrick. We'll stop.
Are you mushing me?
Yeah, we'll hold it back. We'll hold it back. Just for tonight.
Okay, I'll stop for tonight.
Because honestly, man, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, for the most part. I mean, I think the man is a good player. He's got a lot of ability, but yes, he does cry a lot, and everybody does ride him. Like this man can, like he just cannot do no wrong. Everywhere you turn, it's LeBron James this, LeBron James that, and
somehow I have never seen. I don't know how ESPN does it, but I'll give them props on this. They're pros. They'll talk about the Super Bowl. Oh, the Super Bowl was a really good game, but how do you think LeBron James felt about it?
Let's check his Twitter.
It was like LeBron James didn't even play football. Well, LeBron James was at the game through his Twitter account. What? No. See, they can spin it around and talk about LeBron James anyway, anyhow. Somebody with a number 23 will score a touchdown and be like, oh, LeBron James would have been really happy that his number was out there. What?
You see the hair? You see
it? I'm stopping.
Oh, well, Patrick, look, man. Well, you know there will be a lot more LeBron James talk as we go along through the season.
I know.
Look, hey,
Super Bowl's about to be over.
Yes, and look, let's make it to the All-Star break. So we'll be all right. And speaking of that, first of all, that will conclude our the webcast for this week. We'll have some shows coming up, man. The NHL and the NBA will have their All-Star breaks coming up in the next few weeks. So we will have shows where we review those or review the first halves and look into the second halves. Compare the picks we made at the beginning and to how they're looking by the time the All-Star breaks do roll around. Also, continue to like the show or subscribe to the show. Check it out, like it on Facebook, repost it. And again, we will be getting on Twitter. Me personally, I don't know what Patrick's going to do with his Twitter handle, but I'm looking into changing mine because I think I got a better day in place now. So we'll see. But
I ain't changing mine.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're the precious. Yeah, you're not changing yours. Well, I'm probably going to change mine, and we will be getting into Twitter very, very soon. Life's kind of hit us in the face, so we haven't had the chance to really get into it, but we will. So, before we go, anything else you would like to add, Patrick? Did I hit everything? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, no, you didn't miss anything. Just make sure there's a disclaimer out there.
Yeah, got it. Yes.
We start talking about LeBron James, man, and I lose control.
It's okay, man. Look, raw footage. So yeah, it's okay. But yeah, I got you. I got it. I got the disclaimer. But
Yeah, and make sure your parents know, man. My fault.
oh well, hey, look, man. My parents always say. My parents are always like, well, we know Patrick will say anything, so they're they're cool.
Okay, well, they're warned. Fair warned, I guess.
Yeah.
I try to keep it as clean as I can, but man, LeBron James just irks me so bad, man. Anyway, you covered everything, man. I'm good.
Well, all right. Well, until then, enjoy the the action going on in the NBA, the NHL. Enjoy the conference championship games. Oh, and we will discuss college basketball. We didn't get to it on this show, but we will discuss college basketball on the next show. So until then, everybody take it easy. Have a good weekend. Be safe, and we will talk to you next week.